Hello, how's it going, guys? My name is Fox, and today I'm going to be reading a Spectrum post created by a guy named Dissonian. Now, I'm choosing to read this because I am a Star Citizen content creator that focuses primarily on alien ships, and recently, with the advent of the 3.20 patch cycle release, a lot of the alien ships, as I've been noticing, have been getting a really strong nerf for some apparent reason. Now, this guy kind of went ahead and decided to do a write-up on it. He strongly mentioned two of the alien ships that we have that got nerfed pretty badly, and this goes with the Cartual and the Talon series, but this also kind of extends a little bit further to the state of alien ships in general. They're not in the best shape. So I want to go ahead and read this to you guys. The title is called Time to Blow the Whistle. Alien Starfighter Pilots, you are being cheated. And the way he goes about this is really fantastic because he kind of takes a role-playing approach and kind of puts himself into the lore of Star Citizen and makes the case that a lot of the all of the military personnel that's reclassifying these alien ships into civilian use have been using the 3.20 flight systems to put into these alien ships and have been kind of skewing them with the numbers because these guys are xenophobic. I think that everything about this is in line with what I've been experiencing for like the last few years, especially with the Prowler. I'm not letting go of that ship, and I'm going to be sticking it out all the way to the end to see how that shapes up. There's a lot of things missing with alien ships, and I don't know where these nerfs came from. I really don't. I don't know if someone just went in there and just decided to make these things a little bit worse because of the new alien ship that was coming out. Again, we really don't have an answer for it. One specific part that this guy mentioned in his write-up was the soon approaching master modes that should be changing a lot of the flight models in Star Citizen. Now, I don't know how much of these acceleration values that we have here are going to be going into that master modes section, and I don't know how soon it is going to be till we have master modes in our hands and in its entirety, because at the moment I only know that they've been working on the Gladius light fighter, and it's just, I wish that the Talons were in a formidable place that was able to compete at least in acceleration with the other light fighters, especially like the Arrow and the Gladius. These are fantastic, beautiful ships and have had some of the best atmospheric flight characteristics in the game. And seeing this just kind of makes me a little sad because I know how it is on the receiving end of having a very, very slow ship for the class that it's in. And this is coming from being a Prowler pilot this entire time. So it's a fantastic read. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you guys. I think it's a great, fantastic post. So let's dive right in. Good afternoon, citizens of the Empire. Allow me to introduce myself as Scion Dissonian Lanning. Since 2801, the Lanning family and our constituents have been avid investors and supports of the Xi'an Human Technology Exchange. Our family has backed and have been involved in several major achievements, which include but are not limited to supporting the MISC Technology Exchange and sharing schematics of the Hull Series Heavy Hauler with engineers from the Xi'an Empire, declassification and production of civilian variants of the Xi'an Imperial Navy's Cartual Light Scout and Santokyai Medium Fighter, supporting House Gatak's entry into the UEE industrial market and its successful launch of the Solon multi-role vessel, coordinating engineers' efforts with MISC Marai Performance Branch and Xi'an Engineering for the development of the small-scale Fury. This also includes work on Project Mega Fury, which aims to introduce human-alien hybrid fighter technology to answer the current open contract to replace the aging Aegis Vanguard series. My personal belief is that the future of starflight technology lies in the merger of human and Xi'an engineering. Xi'an Omni-Thruster technology and Gravlev breakthroughs are essential in our pursuit of the next generation starship that will take us beyond the limits of the jump point. Unfortunately, not everyone shares this vision, and there are those out there that still believe that the Xi'an Cold War is not over, and despite centuries of peace, still do everything they can to sabotage our unshakable relationship with the House of Xi'an Empire. These problems have been very apparent in recent discoveries made in the evaluation process of the UEE uses in order to screen military starships and convert them for civilian use. The Lanning family, MISC representatives, Asperia partners, and Xi'an House representatives have launched an independent inquiry in some very controversial changes that have occurred in the screening process and configuration of converted military to civilian ships. By interviewing over 470 engineers and 286 starfighter pilots from all walks of both Xi'an and human, we have irrefutable proof that the conspiracies that you have been hearing in the shadows are true. Alien starships are being artificially limited in their performance for the purpose of elevating the status of competing human ships. Our findings are most prominent in the reviews of avionic modules and control systems for the patch 3.20 systems and later. We sampled and reviewed avionic systems for over 121 Cartual scout crafts that exist both within the civilian market today as well as those coming freshly off the assembly line at the POA shipyards. Of the 121 Cartual vessels that we are reviewing, 83 of those vessels are released to the human market. Of the 83, 72 have been upgraded with the mandated 3.20 avionics module and flight control systems safety patches. We discovered that all 72 upgraded Cartual vessels had human code written into the flight systems and avionic modules that placed artificial limiters on the performance of the ship. Those values are below. And again, for the Cartual, we can see that he posted 4 sets of numbers, all showing that it's decreasing in the 3.20 PTU patch cycle here. We interviewed APOA engineers and these flight system changes. They were baffled and noted that not only are these limiters overly constrictive and below allowed civilian model performance ranges, that they are also unsafe and they greatly reduce the performance and reliability of those vessels. We had 5 Xi'an Imperial Navy pilots test post-patch Cartual ships versus unpatched ships that freshly rolled off the assembly line and were not tampered with by human conversion engineers. We discovered that the Xi'an assembly line ships functioned as intended, while those with the 3.20 flight system updates flew, quote, slower than a pregnant storm wall, which I think is a fantastic quote. I cannot praise this enough already just with that. These changes are highly suspicious considering that they are applied without the permission of APOA engineers and are against safety specs of APOA and were inserted as part of the human-controlled segment of the Xi'an military and civilian conversion program. In researching several engineers that were part of the UEE conversion processes, we discovered that 33% of the conversion engineers had sympathetic ties to xenophobic groups such as Xenothreat. These connections were gleaned from social media and the spectrum groups that these engineers were affiliated with. These changes were also put in place right before the IAE and injected into trial starships meant to showcase APOA technologies, which is akin to corporate sabotage. Another point of suspicion is that these changes were introduced to the flight system prior to the Imperator mandated, quote, master modes navigational model that will soon set new standards for these ships. It is alarming that such a change was implemented right before the largest aerospace expo and before a major navigational system requirements change. In interviewing Asperia engineers, we also discovered that the Cartual was not the only ship that was targeted by this malicious compliance. We also sampled 51 Asperia Talon replicas, with 38 of them being upgraded to the 3.20 post-flight model firmware. These ships also had significant artificial performance limit put in place. And here's a screenshot of our findings below. And again, with the screenshot, we can see that it's just a big decrease, of which it seems that it is roughly 2/3 of its original acceleration numbers here. In an interview with Asperia engineers, they stated that these were not the intended performance values of the replicas and like APOA, were completely unaware that these limiters are being put in place as part of a conversion process. In addition to the above, we have also found that 3.20 firmware upgrades favored human combat fighters through undocumented changes. We sampled over 93 Anvil Aerospace F-7C Hornets and F-7CM Super Hornets. We discovered that the acceleration values within the 3.20 flight systems conveniently forgot to place the civilian required limits on their Wind Chazelle engines. This allowed the F-7s to have a military-grade acceleration performance that matched that of this F-7A UEEN military vessel. We found that military to civilian conversion requirements that are specific for this craft specifically call for lower acceleration values. Many of the engineers that had a hand in the software development of the 3.20 UEEN F-7A Hornet flight systems and the conversion process to F-7C were the same ones that have ties to xenophobic groups. What we are seeing here is an absolute travesty and miscarriage of UEE justice. It should be noted that Lanning and Associates have directly forwarded our findings to representatives of the Xi'an Empire. It is in our hopes that proper UEE authorities correct these issues immediately and hold those that were responsible for these performance limiters accountable. Sion, Dissonian, Lanning. Alright guys, so that's it for the reading for that fantastic write-up. Anyways guys, that's going to be it for me. I hope you liked the readout for this. Again, thank you everyone who's been watching my channel. We just passed 1,000 subscribers. I'm super happy about that, so thank you. And we have been growing our Discord, which is really cool because we got all these new faces and it makes me really happy. It's growing. Anyways, have a good night guys. We'll talk later.